Right.
So James, this video, it was forwarded by your friend Dominic, and I found it very touching. It's about Swami Paramahansananda, and I think it's worth your commentary because many things happening there I don't understand, but you probably do. So I was wondering if you could give your feedback to it.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Well, this is in South India, right? Definitely South India. This is where is this is called? Well, I forget the name of this place. It's Veda Pitam, I think so. So there's a place where you worship knowledge. That's right. This is part of the I think the Chinmaya Mission, Dayananda Mission complex of temples and places of knowledge in South India. One of them is Shankaracharya's birthplace, which is not far from there, and it's in the hills, and I think they're called the Nilgiri Hills or the Western Ghats. Ghats means steps, so there's a line of mountains that run down, not very high mountains, but mountains that run down the western flank of India, South India. And that's a very holy area. It's full of ashrams, of siddhas, of sages, and so forth and so on. Here the Swami, who's from Chennai. Chennai's not that far from there. It's a ways, but it's not that far. He's come to visit the ashram, maybe give some kind of talks or teaching there. I don't know. I don't know what the occasion was. And so they're showing him to the ashram. Coming up this is the temple, and all the ashrams, they have their own dedicated temples. And so when he goes, he has to go in the temple and worship the deity. I think, I don't know if it's going to show. Usually they don't show the deity. You're not supposed to photograph it. Oh, there's the deity. It's on the wall. That's Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti is Shiva, meaning consciousness, existence, shining as awareness, incarnated or appearing as the first teacher. If this teaching came from somewhere, it had to come from the first. And here the priest, the man on the right is a pujari. Pujari means a priest, and he's offering that blessing to Swamiji. That's I forget what that's called. I can't remember now. These cages are, because there are so many people, there'll be, normally when there's a particular festival, there'll be thousands of people visiting this shrine. There you go, there's Dakshinamurti right there. Dakshinamurti is a god that sits in the north and looks at the south. That means he sits in still, ever pure consciousness and stares out over the ever-changing south. The south is where there's sun and life, and the north is where everything's still and pure and clean. And the pujari on the left is showing the lights. There are 5 lights. It's a candelabra with 5 lights symbolizing the 5 elements. So they're worshiping Dakshinamurti.
And why do they put a garland around Swami's neck?
That's a sign of respect for the Guru.
Oh, yeah.
See, the Mahatmas come to these places with their devotees to keep the energy charged there, the Shakti, the Bhakti. I talked about Bhakti Shakti, the Shakti of Bhakti. And it's these holy places like Arunachala and other places like that. South India is full of those places. North India also, but South India particularly in the old style. And I forget who these deities are on the right and the left. The one with the red pants and the green pants. And anyway, so they come to recharge the batteries there. And instill the Shakti in the icons. When you worship one of these deities, they become living. the Shakti is embedded in the icon itself by the great Mahatmas and the Siddhas and these people who come and worship there. That's why they're attractive. And if the worship ceases there, the temple loses its energy and just becomes a place of stones. Now he worships, and then this is prasad, he's taking the light. You see, they take the light and bathe themselves in it. It means I'm bathing myself in light. There's a really interesting ritual called Anganyasa, where you instilling now that Shakti back into your own body. There's a beautiful ritual called Anganyasa and one called Karanyasa. Anyway.
So the Swami doesn't have to carry the garland all the time, right?
No, they take it off. He doesn't want to lug that around. They're heavy and they tend to be quite damp or wet.
Oh yeah.
Now he's going to get some prasad. That'll be some water. That's the holy water, same as rituals in the church. And he takes those water, he drinks it to fill the body, blesses your mind, your brain by putting the water there. And then he takes a little sandalwood, his devotee takes a little sandalwood and puts it on his forehead. No, in this case, it's ashes. The ashes are called vibhuti, and they indicate that his vasanas have been burned up in the fire of consciousness, the fire of knowledge. And then he sits down and he's going to receive gifts for the Vedanta Sampradaya, for the temple complex and all of the Chinmaya schools and Dayananda schools in India from the devotees.
So everybody has to give him some flowers.
Everybody has fruit and flowers. That's traditional. Can you hear that chant? The chant is the Guru Stotram. It's 13 verses on the Guru. And it's a beautiful chantra, beautiful mantras, 13 mantras describing or talking about the self. And each verse ends with the statement, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave means the self. I prostrate, I bow, as this gentleman's doing, as this sannyasi's doing, I bow to the self. They didn't show that. I suspect that is fruits and a pile of money underneath. That's a donation. I once saw some man bring a whole lac of rupees. I had his servants come and bring a whole lac of rupees, and they were covered with mangoes and fruit and flowers. And underneath it was built up like a mountain like this. And there were mangoes and fruits and flowers all around and incense burning. And they brought it to Swami Abhedananda. It was and that's how they support this institution in India, is by donations. The people have been, a few people, not many, but a few people have been complaining that I'm taking donations and therefore I'm not a proper teacher. But I don't have behind me a huge culture like this. This culture is like thousands of years old. You can see it's all laid out. It's been there going on in the same style, in the same manner, with the same mantras and the same thing for like 5,000, 10,000 years. We don't know. So,
what's about this young boy, I wonder?
He's a Brahmin boy. He's probably in a spiritual school called Pathashala. Pathashala is like grade school and elementary school for Brahmin kids. And they also get at the same time, they get a secular education at the same time.
What is Swami doing?
He's blessing him and giving him some mantras. or some talk, something.
And that's his granddad.
And he gets no, I think that's his, I think that gentleman there is a donor or the sponsor. I've seen him in other videos. I didn't meet him. I experienced all this with Swami Chinmayananda and Swami Abhedananda. That was a previous generation. This is the next generation of Swamis. And,
they're all kind of overweight, huh? It's just a random thought I had.
well, you know, they're Sattvika people, and they're not exercising. They don't do, you know, jogging and running and all that sort of thing, and they eat basically carbs.
Yeah.
They you know, they're vegetarians, pure vegetarians, so they won't be eating anything but carbohydrates. And if you're fairly sedentary, this is a good picture.
Well, who are those people in white?
Oh, those are brahmacharis. Remember on that video of the day, I explained how that one fellow was in white, sitting by the Swami. These are the introductory stage. You first go brahmachari, and then you graduate to sannyas.
It means they are not in a relationship?
No, they're not. Or no, they're not. They've given up the householder life, and they're taking the first stage of sannyas, which is brahmachari.
So the Swami is distributing apples up here.
Yeah, he's give prasad. When you give something to the Lord, you get something back. See how it is?
And apples are kind of not so common in South India.
No, that's a great rare fruit. Although they've imported them now, and you get really good ones from South America. In India, at least you did when I was there. Now, this would not be a brahmachari. This will just be a householder.
And why do they go on the floor?
That's prostrate, full pranams, it's called. That's surrendering to the feet of the teacher, not the teachers. They're not surrendering to Swami, although some think they're surrendering to Swami. And now here they got a picture of Dakshinamurti.
So they're actually bowing down to Dakshinamurti in the form of the Swami.
That's right. Dakshinamurti is appearing in the form of Swami. This is a good video. It's well shot. It's in good definition, and they're pointing out the symbolism for people who know. Westerners won't know. It will be completely incomprehensible, but they will feel this is a peacock feather over here. And the wheel of Dharma, I think, is on the other side. The Westerners just go for the Shakti because they don't understand the meaning. And that's good. But as I pointed out earlier, it's only the beginning. Now, almost all the apples are going. And who gets them now? Who gets the apples now? Mostly the sannyasis. The sannyasis they'll get blessed last. So there's a householder, so forth and so on.
What's the age?
And that's a formal photo. It's like a photo shoot.
Do you know how old Swami P is?
Swami P is about 20 years behind me, I think. So I think he must be about 65 maybe, or something, 60, 65,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think he started teaching in the 90s, so about 30 years ago.
It could be, yeah. I think that's right. Now here's what is this one? This must be a Dakshinamurti. This almost looks like a living person, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Huh? Remember the one we talked about the other day? You would look, the Guru Swami's Guru Dayananda.
Yeah.
You really did look like, when you first look, it does look like, and they don't look at details. You see, there's a whole ritual. I've explained this in in a number of texts and a number of my writings and books about how this actually works, the symbolism and how the Shakti is transferred through the symbols. There's a great story of Kanapa Nayanar that we should probably explain to the Westerners.
Oh, wait, you want to explain it now or
No.
Okay.
No, it's way too subtle and too sophisticated to just off the top of my head. I've got a dinner's coming up and I got some things to do, so
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that it's pretty much over
Yeah,
now.
it's pretty much over. You can see that now it's all dispersed. What are they doing here? Well, maybe that's some, I don't know what it is. There's some, they're going to open that doors and maybe there's a deity behind it. I'm not sure what that is. There's temples everywhere in South India. It's a temple culture.
Yeah.
Whole Hindu culture is based upon this. And even though they're getting very wealthy in India, they're the fifth largest economy in the world today. The Indian economy is. I thought when they first started to get involved in the materialism that they would lose the spiritual. They're just worshiping another deity. Maybe that's Ganesh or something. I don't think so, but anyway, that's good.
They are not losing their spirituality despite
No,
that.
they're not.
Yeah.
No, the temple culture is growing like anything. I don't know that there are as many sannyasis as before. Maybe there are. But you see, the householders are necessary to support the tradition because sannyasis don't work for money. When they take the orange cloth, they can't take money. Traditionally, they can't stay in one place more than 3 days to avoid attachment, and they can't beg for alms. They do karma yoga. They teach as karma yoga, and because of that, the karma yoga is for householders basically. Sannyasis don't do karma yoga because they're jnana yogis, but they do karma yoga for room and board, you could say.
It's a fascinating culture.
Yeah, it's amazing culture.
Okay.
That's a nice pic there. You see, that's a wheel of Dharma on the right. And this will be some kind of small reception, I suppose, afterwards or something like that. They're explaining, oh, I see. Yeah, this will be the study. This will be the library. There are probably very, very ancient and old and valuable texts there. Veda Puri Pitam, I think it's called. It means a place where knowledge is worshipped. And so they'll have an ashram. Yeah, that's it. That's very cool. I like seeing this now. Now, those documents there are under lock and key, probably. Those are probably really rare documents. And they're explaining to the Swami, this guy will probably be the curator of the yeah. See those behind there? Those are probably Ramana had a little shelf of those very important yoga and Vedanta Shastras in his little hut in Tiruvannamalai. But you can see how the spiritual culture has grown. There we go. There's a formal picture of the Swami. You can see how the culture has grown since the days of Ramana. Even that's like what 100 years ago, almost 100. And these explaining how the system works there.
What is this?
I don't know. I can't. I can't. There's Shankaracharya on the right of our screen.
Yeah. Oh, they're showing a video.
No, that will be one of the teachers. They all look alike. I thought it was Chinmaya for a minute, but I think it's the present head of the Chinmaya mission.
Yeah, there must be a screen and he's watching it
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, probably.
since everybody is staring at it.
Yeah, it's digitized. You see now, you see how it's come. The whole tradition is there, but they just incorporated the digital world into that. That's what we're trying to do. We're using the digital media for dissemination of non-dual teachings.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool. That's very nice to know. That's a really good video. You can keep digging up these things, and I'd love to talk about them. You see, everywhere you go, there's something to worship.
Oh, maybe this is the. I don't know.
Maybe that's one of the Shankaracharyas.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the four Shankaracharyas that South India. Maybe that's a picture of it.
Monasteries.
That will be I forget what sage that is. But
Valmiki?
No, I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's Valmiki. I think it's Veda Vyasa, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know. But our house is like that. We only have spiritual art. It's icons, so that everywhere you go, you should have these symbols that remind you of yourself. No profane and worldly things in your environment. Yes, Swami Chidbhavananda Ashram. So Sri Swami Chidbhavananda. Chidbhavananda means the experience of consciousness or the knowledge of consciousness. A Vedanta Shastra Prachara Trust. You see, it's a trust. I hope some of you people out there that are watching this understand why it is we have to beg for donations. And here are all the acharyas. Here's Swami P, Swami Chinmaya. This is Swami P. Where's Dayananda Ji?
Here.
Dayananda, Swami Dayananda. This is the Shankaracharya, I think.
Yeah.
At Kanchipuram, which is in South India, Southern Shankaracharya. This Swami, I'm not sure who this one
That's
is.
the one from the Ramakrishna order.
Oh, I see, Ramakrishna mission.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, what's his name? He's quite famous now.
He's very famous.
He's from New York. He's very famous. He's a good teacher.
Yeah.
Really good teacher. Very open. And then I don't know what this is just, that's just the fire of knowledge.
Swami Omkarananda.
All right.
Okay.
Good. Self-control and respect.
2 pillars. Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Okay. Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's enough.
Yeah, I see. India is the spiritual superpower of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great that we have access to it.
Yeah. And now you see, you don't really have to go to India to get the access. I mean, it's lovely, but unless you really brought there by Ishwara and really led to the right places at the right time, it will remain more or less a mystery. It will just seem like an exotic thing. And a lot of Westerners, Americans and Europeans, particularly Americans, just go there and they get trinkets. They get little souvenirs. They bring back little bits and pieces from India of their experiences and so forth and so on. And they share those, which is good, but which is not the whole picture. So, I was very fortunate in that I was led right into the heart of it when I was very young. And I was invited by Swami Chinmayananda to stay with him. And I did for 2 years as he traveled around the world teaching Vedanta. So I got to see that from the inside. He wanted me to see it from the inside so I could bring some of this knowledge to the Western people.
And so you did.
Well, we'll see. It seems that we are. Shining World is growing. Thank you very much by the grace of God. Okay.
Good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.